So we have moved all the way down to our very last section, which is Google Forms. This should look familiar to you now. So to create a form, you can do it from Drive only, but now they actually have put on, of course, now it's also on the Waffle. So the answer to it is it's exactly like everything else. You can find it from Google Drive, or you can find it from the Waffle. And Google Forms, always the purple one. So, now, let me pop back over here. So here we are in the Drive. I'm going to click on New, click on Form. Okay. The first thing you're going to see is it doesn't give you a title. You have to give it a title. Now, there are a couple things that I wish, hopefully Google will fix this soon, but you can't add hyperlinks like in the form description if you wanted to put something there or something like that. So basically it's just all text. It also, you can't really change the font, and and there's a way to do some other things, but it's a little bit complicated, so I'm just going to leave that. So basically this is pure text, right? So you can also add any kind of question, and when you click on that, the question types are found under this drop down. So you have short answer or paragraph, you have multiple choice, checkboxes, drop down, you have a file upload, a linear scale, multiple choice, grid box, date, time. You can add images, which is that button there. Just leave this as multiple choice. You can click on image, and notice when you do this, you can upload, you can find it on the internet, you can find it in your Drive. You can add a video, so if you wanted to ask questions about a video, you could add that video. You can add a section so that it, if you wanted them to do like branching, so if they chose yes, they would go one way, if they chose no, they would go another. The other options, so let's say if you wanted to have a multiple choice question that had the same answers and you didn't want to type them over and over again, except the stem of the question was changing and the answers were the same, you could duplicate that by clicking on this, which would copy the question. That obviously deletes the question. If you toggle this to on, that means when someone gets to this form, they have to complete this question in order to move forward. If I click on the three dots, this is where I would be able to go to a section based on an answer. So we call this branching. And you can also shuffle the option order. So if you wanted to have examples of yes and no, and if you choose yes, you go one way. If you choose no, you go another. If you think back to the, I know this is dating myself, the Choose Your Own Adventure books, you can actually build an entire Choose Your Own Adventure in Google Forms. So here you have everything labeled for you. So you know exactly what each of those little icons means, and as well as at the bottom. So at the form options are at the top. You have add-ons. You can customize the theme. You can preview it. You can change the settings, which we'll talk about in a minute. And then if you click on the three dots or the kebab, these are your options. So if you had a form and you wanted to take that form and use it again, you can do that and then change the title and you get a new form. You can add collaborators who are allowed to edit the form. And then you have a couple other options. So let's keep on going. So now if I click on settings, which would be that gear icon, this is what happens first. So the first option, it says collect email addresses. And then if you choose that, you can also send a response receipt. And every time you open a new Google form, it's always checked to restrict to VCCS. So if you want to share it or you want to share it outside of the VCCS, make sure you uncheck that box. You can limit the responses, and then you would click save. If you wanted to do it as a presentation, you can also show the progress bar, you can shuffle the question order, and you can also show link to submit another response, and you can change the confirmation message. So if you wanted to say something like, thank you for completing this registration, your registration has now been recorded, you can type all of that there and then click save. And you can even make a Google form a quiz. So you would click on the quiz up here on the tab, and then you would have all of these would become available to you, and then you could make it a quiz, and it would be automatically graded because most of them are it's multiple choice, and then you would click save. The last thing is if you click on send, which is in the normal spot that we would see share, that's exactly what you can do. You can send the form by email. You can send the form by a link, which is the second option. And you can also shorten the URL if you don't want that really long URL. Or if you want to put it in Canvas, for example, then you could get the embed code, which is here, copy it, and then paste it into the HTML. You would open a rich content editor and change it to the HTML and paste that code in, and then that quiz would be embedded right inside of Canvas or form or whatever you choose it for. So last activity is go to your drive, click on new, click on form, and test out a few things. You can change the theme, add a question, any of that, and I'll give you 3 minutes. All right, hopefully you had a little time to play around with a little bit with the Google form. So we're wrapping it up here, and now we're gonna do a little Canvas. So Google in Canvas. So you can use anything you've created in Google in Canvas, a doc, a sheet, a slide, a form. You can share it by link, which is when you do that, you want to make sure that you either choose the VCCS or the anyone with link can open. So you can put it in a module as a URL. So you would click on the plus on the module, and then you would click add external URL, and then you would put the link to the Google thing here, give it a better name, and then click add item. So that's one way to do it. You can also use it inside of a page, an assignment, a quiz, an announcement, anywhere you can find the rich content editor. When you click on edit and it opens and the rich content editor has that nice long line, you're going to see a link to your Google Drive about in the center of the rich content editor. And you can click on that, and then you can locate any documents or any slides or sheets or whatever in your Google Drive and click on that, and it will bring them into Canvas. Also, if you click on the plug and then you click on view all, you can choose from here, which in both of these act differently. Google Apps allows you to pull in the documents the same as this, or the Google Drive LTI is actually something called Google Assignments, which is a separate tool that allows you to build a Google assignment inside of Canvas. That's for another day. Okay, so we have covered a lot. It's obviously time for my nap. So I would like to thank you all for coming. Please take a minute to leave any questions that you have on the Google Sheet Q&A. The link to this presentation will be posted in the chat as well. If you have questions, you know where to reach us. Please do not hesitate to contact us, and we will be glad to answer all of your questions. And again, we took a small trip to my Google Narnia today.
Oh, you gave it away, Paige. You told people to guess, and I was going to tell. There was actually only one guess, and it was the same guess I had. But I was going to tell you what the guess was, and we were going to see if it was right. It
Oh,
was.
what were you going to say, Forrest?
It was Narnia. We have a special guest, Melissa Stiltner, with guessed Narnia, and she was correct.
Yay! All right, so yeah. So anyway, yes, please make sure you do leave us some questions. And again, let me know if I can help you with anything. If you want to know how to build a, we'll call it a Google room, then please let me know. That's a little, that takes a little time. Forrest will be glad to tell you it's a little more complicated than it looks. So I appreciate everyone coming by today, and have a great day.
Shame.